So I'm here today to just point out that, as we say in Cedar County, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And you've got one of the most liberal, outspoken, eastern, out of touch governors in the entire country. And what is he doing? He's going to two senators that are casting themselves as conservative Democrats. And you know, you can't have it both ways. I mean, if you're going to appear with and as part of your campaign, be a part of Governor O'Malley in Maryland, you can't then come back to your constituents in those districts and say, I'm a conservative Democrat, but by the way, and so Kenny and Rita Hart are essentially being bolstered today by the most liberal voice in the country. I mean, by his own admission. You read Governor O'Malley's press releases and you look at his the tax increases that he supported. I will tell you something that I don't think that the voters in those districts, one of which, actually both of which are fairly rural, I don't think that's indicative of all of what those districts need, what those districts want. So you can't have it both ways. I mean, you can't say I am a conservative, and you listen to some of their stump speeches. I'll bet you when Kenny goes down to Washington County, I'll bet you anything he sounds an awful lot like a Republican. And I'll bet when Rita Hart goes to western Clinton County, she sounds an awful lot like a Republican. Well, you can't just leave a intimate conversation between one of America's most liberal, elite governors and then show up in Washington County or show up in Clinton County and say, I'm a conservative alternative. I mean, you just can't have it. I would just appeal to common sense. You can't have it both ways.
Do you think he's going to hurt their campaigns just by being around them?
I don't underestimate the voter. I think the voters are going to make that connection, and I believe that it could potentially hurt that campaign if the focus of your campaign is to paint yourself as something that you're not.
What about Senator Hatch? Will Governor O'Malley's visit help Senator Hatch?
To be quite honest, I don't know what will help Senator Hatch. Probably a mustache. The best thing he had going for him is a mustache. And I think Governor Branstad would agree with me on that. And I might be a little biased. But in all seriousness, Senator Hatch, I served with him for 8 years. He is so far out of the mainstream. And I know it sounds like blatant bias for the Republican chair to say that, but you know, I put on my political science hat, and he is so out of the mainstream. I really don't know if O'Malley hurts him or not, because I think Senator Hatch probably has a little inner contest on who is the most liberal. So I'm not so sure that Governor O'Malley just doesn't reinforce what we already know.